Audio description provided by Spoffles. This trailer is brought to you by Sprips Productions. 60 Shades of Angus. Hi Dan, it's Casey. I haven't seen you for 6 months. What's been going on? Nothing, Casey.
0 people.
I've been really ill with my PTSD from, everything that's been going on with family and that, Casey. The fact that they wouldn't accept me as Dan, they would only accept me as Sarah. I accept you, Dan, and that's all that matters, innit? Soft spuffer? Yepsified. Dan stares at Casey. Doesn't realise that Lucy Boffer is walking past him. Oh no.
0 people.
Who's walking past there, Casey? Have you got any vision? I haven't, Casey. Can you see who's walking past? Yeah, it's the dreaded Lucy Boffer, Dan. Oh, not that, no, that dozy old fool. I don't trust Lucy Boffer. She's a nightmare. What are your pronouns, Casey? D-dem. Oh, mine are he, him. We're a D-dem at one point. I was identifying as genderless, but now I identify, legally as a trans male. I'm going
0 people.
Transition. Hi, Dan. Oh, bloody hell. I feel so sorry for the discrimination that you've had to go through, Bloody nightmare, innit, Dan? Yipsified. Casey, do you want to go to the chippy? I'm starvified to spoffles. Yepsified. As they go to the chippy, Dan bumps into Lucy. Oi, watch where you're going, chocolate face. Lucy Boffer, I'm not tolerating that. I don't tolerate
0 people.
Casey, we're going to have to report Lucy when we get back-sified. Yep-sified, I know, Dan. She's an absolute racist brr. I don't tolerate people like that, Dan. She is a brr. Casey and Dan smile at each other, looking like two lost Thessalons in the street. I really like you, Dan. I didn't really know you as Sarah, but honestly, Dan, you mean everything to me.
0 people.
Is this a saying that you want me as your partner, Casey? Yep-sified. I identified as non-binary since last year, Dan. Basically, I struggled with my identity for 2 years, and then I identified as non-binary. Yeah, well, I've been struggling since really young, since 2 years old, Casey. Bloody hell, Dan.
0 people.
I can't believe the hurt and the shame you've had to part with, Dan. It's bloody ridiculous. I don't know, Casey. Typical. Next thing, Cassandra is sat with Lucy Boffer at the dinner table. Who's that over there, Lucy? It's Dan with Casey. I wanted Dan first, but look, he's gone for Casey Hannigan. Typical.
0 people.
Do to convince him to get away from Casey. Nothing you can do. Once he's found love, you can't stop him, Lucy. Not a chance in hell. No chance in hell, that one. Yeah, that's Dan's favourite saying. Did you know that? Yep-sified. Oh, have you known Dan from a child, Cassandra? Yep-sified. He helped me when I was 4 because I was mute when I was younger because I lost my mum to a house fire, Lucy. My God, Cassandra, do you still have PTSD?
0 people.
Yep-sified. Cassandra and Lucy stare at Dan and Casey, awkwardly. Next thing, Lucy Mulder and Leanne come over. Lucy, who the bloody hell sat opposite us? Oh, that would be Dan and Casey. My God. Is that really... Is that a boy or a girl? Leanne, don't judge someone by their gender. Dan is
0 people.
He's just starting his transition. He was born Sarah. How did you know that, Lucy? I've known him since I was 7 years old, Leanne. Typical. Oh no, don't tell me starvified Spoffer's coming over. Who's starvified Spoffer? Starvified one, some F-O-O-D. Made the one, some F-O-O-D now the... Me can't.
0 people.
Me starvified. Me want to sit down cified and get some FOOD. Who's that, Casey? Oh, that would be Ketsia Dan. Ketsia? Yeah, Ketsia Grey. T's a bit of a nightmare, really. T just won't starvified off. I'll show her to starvify. I'll tell her to starvified off soft stuff here. That's how
0
the
people.
relationship progressed. They walk past Ketsia and sit on a table to themselves away from Cassandra and Lucy. Dan does not trust Cassandra, neither does he trust Lucy Boffer. I don't trust Cassandra. I've heard that C can be very racially abusive. Really, Dan? Yeah. If she's with Lucy Boffer, then C will act really racially abusive. Speaking of Lucy Boffer,
0 people.
we need to report the Fossinal. Fossinal? What's a Fossinal? Oh, it's Jamaican for bastard, Casey. Typical. Yeah, we'll have to report the Fossinal, won't we, Dan? Dan and Casey sneak out the dining room. They find the warden, Serena. Dan? Casey? What the hell's the problem now, there? Oh, Lucy Buffer was right.
0 people.
Right. I'll go and sort Lucy Buffer out because somebody else has complained about Sir as well. She's an absolute nightmare. She might get expelled, Casey. Typical. Is she that much of a troublemaker? Yipsified. Serena, a middle-aged, non-binary person in their 30s who works at RNC, who's a warden, RNCS, Royal National College for Spoffers.
0 people.
See, they go to find Lucy Boffer, who's sat with Cassandra, staring awkwardly at Dan and Casey. Lucy Boffer, what do you think you're playing at, calling Dan chocolate face? We don't tolerate racial abuse here, Lucy Boffer. You're going to be in deep shit when I get the residential manager. I called him because I wanted him more than Casey. You know, I wanted him more than he wanted.
0 people.
You know, I loved Dan. Well, that's no excuse, Lucy Boffer. You shouldn't racially abuse anyone. It's discrimination and you're going to be punished for it. How? Maria, the residential manager who has long hair and is gender fluid, comes over to the table where Serena is standing near Lucy Boffer. Lucy Boffer, you are now expelled from RNCS.
0 people.
Go and get your stuff immediately. Say goodbye to Cassandra. Never ever stare at Dan and Casey again. You are expelled for racially abusive hate crimes. Oh, for God's sake. It's all bloody Dan's fault, innit? Now, Dan had a right to report you for his own safety and for the safety of others, Lucy Boffer. Lucy storms off into the Hall of Residence to get Sir's stuff, calls a
0 people.
and goes home to Bristol. 60 Shades of Angus, the trailer, is brought to you by Spoffs Productions. Audio description by Spoffles.
Zoom. Stop recording.